Hey everyone, so for this week we are finishing up our Miya Concept line art. As you can see, I did pretty much a lot off screen. I had a little technical difficulties with recording and trying to render it to do speed art. I know I did say last week that I was gonna kind of speed through this so you guys can see, but had a little bit of problem there. So I'm sorry guys, you didn't get to see how I did this and set this up. But we're going to do some adjustments that I noticed with what I have right now is kind of weird and off. I'm going to try and keep this still 15 minutes, but it may go a little bit longer because knowing me, I'm more of like a perfectionist when it comes to art, so I'll end up going, I don't like that, or I don't like this, I need to change this or change that. So first off, I noticed, like I said, Miya is not a skinny person. Or I should say a fat person. Not skinny, because I said before she was skinny. Well, so backwards today. But anyways, since Miya is a skinny person, like really super skinny, one of those people that you envy for being like a twig, that would be Miya. So since she is that, a lot of her clothes would be slim, or swimming, not slimming, on her. So you kind of want to make sure that her clothes are big on her in certain spots. So you're not really gonna, sorry guys, no real boobs, if that's what you expected to see. Fortunately not so much for Miya because she's a very small person, so her clothes are big, so you're not going to notice the actual spot where her boobs are. Though, you only know it's a she because I said so, and if you really look at a female, you would know it's a female. So, I'm editing some of the spots. As you can see, I want to add shading. Don't really have to do this when you're working on your line art. It does help for when you actually start doing the painting section, so that you know, okay, well, this is where there's dark areas, this is where light areas hit. You can use white on some spots of the line art, so you know, hey, this is where the light hits. I don't always do that, but it can help if sometimes your lighting is off. I know mine is sometimes, but as long as I know where the dark areas are, I could more or less figure out where the light areas are. So I think I want to make this a little bit longer, because it's not a full sword, but it's not a full short dagger. As you notice, it doesn't look like any other dagger out there. And of course, I have my issues with being on the right side. I don't know why. But anyways, for you guys, I did say last week you can go under image rotation, flip canvas horizontal to help so you can work on the opposite side, and for me it makes my left brain work more properly sometimes when I draw. I ended up doing a shortcut, and for those of you who like shortcuts, I will let you guys know mine, because there's no actual shortcut key being used by this, and it's Control comma on your PCs. If you guys want what it could be on Mac, I could figure that out and let you know. I don't really work on a Mac, so I don't really know much of Mac setups, I guess you would say. So I can figure that out. If you would all those who are on a Mac, what that would be for future reference, I will look into it if you like. I think, yeah, so it'd be more like so is our dagger. And as you see, it's just weird. I don't know. Still, even though I'm working left-brained right now, it's just I know I said left-brained, which makes no sense, not even a proper word, but it just, for some reason, the blade does not want to go how I want it to look. I don't know why. I think it's just I'm off today. Maybe I need sleep. So anyways, let's see. The other thing, so you guys know what I am up to. Get this right. There we go. Much better of a point here. We're gonna make sure we come down. Kind of long for a blade, but that's how, for right now, this is how I want the blade to look. Maybe later, before I start coloring it, I'll change it. But as you notice, one is longer than the other. So this is a little trick that I like to use myself, is take the lasso tool, go into our move tool, and pull it out. Oop. Actually, we're going to the move tool and use shift. And this is, I'll show you what I did with that as well before. If you use shift, it will go more or less into a line from where you were. But since it's kind of at a curve, it's not going to go completely straight. I'll show what I did before to kind of help with that. I think it's undo. Move it up a little bit. There we go. And then Control D to deselect. And then just use the brush to connect the what is missing. So like that. There we go. I think that's about the correct length this time. Actually, I might need it a little bit longer. So there we go. You could always just backtrack to the deselect. So think about there. That is what I want to do. And then go back to brush. Connect these. Looks a little off. But we'll fix it. There we go. That looks a lot better. Okay. So that's our daggers. Now this is the part that I told you that I did before. Oops. And that's with the sheath. And this is where the cool idea of where shift comes in handy. And that is I, on a separate layer, made part of the sheath right about here, as you can see. And on that, what I did, see, I can move it around. Don't need that there. Notice I accidentally drew on that on a separate layer. So what you can do is when you hold shift, well actually before I say that is, if you don't know this little trick to make another copy, so of that same thing, you would take the actual layer you're on, drag it all the way by this trash can, which is the create new layer, and it will automatically make a copied layer. As you can see, I made one already. And to make this part up here, I used the actual shift. So I held shift from layer 4 of the copy and then held it all the way to here. And that way I made it just as thick as the bottom part for the top. And all I got to do now is kind of just adjust the actual opening for the sheath. I think it's a little weird, but so I might need to fix that opening, but I think that works right there. So if you really want to, because for some reason it still looks off when I look at it. Yeah, it still looks weird, but I think it's just how I'm like actually tilting my head. You guys can't see that, but if you're kind of wondering what are you doing when you're just all of a sudden quiet, it's because I'm tilting my head in real life here, trying to make sure that looks right. I find myself doing that because I'm just strange. Anyways, so since I now have one sheath, what you can do, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to hold these two and copy them. And what I will do is take this, and then we're going to flip, control, I think it's, yeah, transform. I'm going to flip horizontal, and it's only going to flip the two that I have highlighted, not the rest of the model. So, and we're going to pull it about, let's see if that actually works. When I zoom out, put it on the white. And sorry about my net cracking there. I might actually move it a little bit, but you use that little copy trick to be able to move it. So I think I want to move it to about here. Just because you're not going to see it from the arm. I think. You might actually will. Let's see if we move it more here. Yeah, I don't want it to be seen from behind this arm, because this arm is actually covering the other sheath. So you're only seeing this part. So that actually works. And if you find there's any extra pieces that should not be there, you just take the eraser brush and erase the leftover pieces. But what you can do, and what I'm going to do, is actually merge these down. Merge layers, merge down, and then merge down, all to layer 4. And I don't want to merge it completely to the main layer quite yet, because I want to make sure all the unnecessary sketching that I might have done is gone. So anything that I accidentally, or if you accidentally drew on the wrong layer, it's not there. So I can see that there. Alright, so we got our sheath layers and our arms. So now you can actually merge it down to one layer to make it a little bit more easily manageable, I guess you would call it. I like it because then I don't have to always be like, oh, what layer was I on? I've noticed from my past artwork that I'll have like 15 to 20 different layers, and it just gets so mind-boggling, and you're like, wait, did I put the layer for the back on this one or that one? And you don't really need that many layers per se, because it's, after a while, you pretty much get it. Everything is going to be done. So I think, because that little enclave of our blade won't be seen. So I think I'm trying to figure out what I want, and we're getting to about a minute before time. Oh, forgot I also need the head. I'm gonna have to take this main layer and I'm gonna move it up a little bit, just a tad, because if you look at my back layer, it's a little bit small. So I am actually, for the final, I'm not gonna draw the neck and all that stuff. And the reason why I'm saying that is what you could do, what some people do is on their concept art, is take an actual image of something's head. So if you found, and I'll just use this picture as a reference for you guys is Kunari, and let's say this is the type of face your character has, pretty square jawed and all that stuff. You can actually take that head and use that as a reference and put it, or you could use a real life face because that helps as well. So it really just depends, and for me, I'm not sure what my face looks like, so we'll do that kind of last. So we're kind of a little bit over, but as you can see, our Miya Concept line art is pretty much at the end phase. I have some spots I may make a little bit darker, because as you see, you go from gray to white, you're like, oh wow, my eyes are burning from the brightness. You can do is darken the lines a little bit. And for next week's video, I will make sure anything that I want to add little symbols on will be there. May fix the daggers possibly, and the feet and hands a little bit. But for next week, we'll start working on our coloring for our Miya Concept. So I hope you guys continue to enjoy, and I'll see you next week.